Welcome everybody to the first SAT reading test by Muhammad Shakour Algnash here in Turkey. We're going to discuss the reading test in the SAT. This text is taken from Lady Carlota novel by D.H. Lawrence, and we have like 10 questions from 1 to 10 questions, and we have to answer them according to the suitable meaning for each question. So read the text now and we'll answer the questions. Lady Carlotta stepped out on the platform from a small way station and took a turn or two up and down. It's an interesting length. To kill time till the train should be pleased to proceed on its way. Then, in the road beyond, she saw a horse struggling with more than ample load, and the carter of the sort that seems to bear a sullen hatred against the animal that helps him to earn a living. Lady Carlotta promptly betook her to the roadway, and put a rather different complexion on this struggle. Certain of her acquaintances were wont to give her plentiful admonition as to the undesirability of interfering on behalf of a distressed animal. Such interference being none of her business, only once had her put the doctrine of non-interference into practice, when one of its most eloquent exponents had been besieged for nearly 3 months in a small and extremely uncomfortable May tree by an angry boar-beck, while Lady Carlotta on the other side of the fence had proceeded with the watercolor sketch she was engaged on, and refused to interfere between the boar and his prisoner. It is to be feared that she lost the friendship of the ultimately rescued lady. On this occasion she merely lost the train, which gave way to the first sign of impatience it had shown throughout the journey, and steamed off without her. She bore the desertion with philosophical indifference. Her friends and relations were thoroughly well used to the fact of her luggage arriving without her. She wired a vague non-committal message to her destination to say that she was coming on by another train before she had time to think what her next move might be. She was comforted by an imposingly attired lady, who seemed to be taking prolonged mental inventory of her clothes and looks. "You must be Miss Hope, the governess. I have come to meet you," said the apparition, in a tone that admitted of a very little argument. "Very well. If I must," said Lady Carlotta to herself with a dangerous meekness. "I am Mrs. Squirrel," continued the lady, "and where, pray, is your luggage?" "It's gone astray," said the alleged governess, falling in with an excellent rule of life that the absent are always to blame. "The luggage had, in a point of fact, behaved with perfect certitude. I have just telegraphed about it," she added, with a nearer approach to truth. "How provoking!" said Mrs. Squirrel. "These railways companies are so careless. However, my maid can lend you things for the night." She had the way to her car. During the drive to the Quarrelable mansion, Lady Carlotta was impressively induced to the nature of the charge that had been thrust upon her. She learned that Claude and Wilford were delicate, sensitive young people, that Ernie had the artistic temperament highly developed, and Viola was something or other else of mildly equally commonplace among children of that class and type in 20th century. I wish them not only to be taught, said Mrs. Quarble, but interested in what they learn in their history lessons. For instance, you must try to make them feel that they are being introduced to the life stories of men and women who really lived, not merely continuing a mass of names and dates to memory. French, of course, I shall expect you to talk at mealtime several days in the week. I shall talk French for days of the week and Russian in the remaining three. Russian, my dear Miss Hope, no one in the house speaks or understands Russian. That will not embarrass me in the least, said Lady Carlotta coldly. Mrs. Carble, to use a colloquial expression, was knocked off her perch. She was one of these imperfectly self-assured individuals who are magnificent and autocratic. As long as they are not seriously opposed, the least show of unexpected resistance goes a long way towards rendering them cowed and unapologetic. When the new governess failed to express wondering admiration of the large, newly purchased and expensive car, and lightly alluded to the superior advantages of one or two makes which had just put on the market, the discomfiture of her patroness became almost abject. Her feelings were those which might have animated a general of ancient warfaring days on beholding the heaviest battle elephant ignominiously driven off of the field by slingers and javelin throwers. Now, as we peruse the text carefully, we understand the kind of general meaning of the short text. The questions we will encounter during our text are dependent on the text. So it depends on how much you understand the text and how do you deal with the understanding of certain questions. For example, which is the choice summarize the text? What does the word in this text means? According to the passage, what does it clearly implies? We start with the first question, which is which choice the best summarize the passage? We have four answers: A, B, C, D. We need to choose one. A woman weighs her positive and negative aspects accepting a new job. A woman doesn't correct a stranger who mistakes her for someone else. A woman impersonates someone else to seek revenge or on an acquaintance. A woman takes an immediate dislike of her new employer. The best answer is B. Why? Because Lady Carlotta is approaching by imposingly attired lady. Number 2. In line 2, turn mostly nearly means a slightly movement, a change in rotation, a short walk, a course correction. The best answer is a short walk. In line 1, 2, 3, the narrative states that Lady Carlotta stepped out to the platform on a small wayside station and took a turn or two up down in an interesting land. 3. The passage mostly clearly implies that other people regarded by Lady Carlotta as we have outspoken, tactful, ambitious, and friendly. The best choice is outspoken because in lines from 10 to 14, the narrator states that some of the Lady Carlotta's acquaintances would often admonish, criticize Lady Carlotta for meddling in or openly expressing her opinion on the people's affairs. Number 4. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer that the previous question? We have lines from 10 to 14, we have 22 to 23, we have lines 23 to 26, we have line 30 to 32. The best one is from 10 to 14. Number 5. The description of how Lady Carlotta put the doctrine of non-interference in practice. What does it mean? Foreshadow the capacity of deception, illustrate subtle cruelty in her nature, provide humorous insight into her character, explain surprising change in her behavior. The best one is C. Number 6, in line 55, charge mostly nearly means responsibility, attack, fee, expense. The nearly meaning is responsibility. Number 7, and then the narrator indicates that Claude, Wilford, Irene, and Velas are similar to many of their peers, usually creative and intelligent, hostile to the idea of governance, more educated than others of their age. The correct answer is A, because it's similar to many of their peers. Number 8, the narrator implies that Mrs. Quarple favors a form of education that emphasizes traditional values, active engagement, artistic experimentation, factual retention. The correct answer is B, active engagement. As presented in the passage, Mr. Quapples is the best described as number A, superficially kind but actually selfish, outward imposing but easily defied, socially successful but irrationally bitter, naturally generous but frequently imprudent. The best choice is B, outwardly imposing but easily defied. Number 10, which choice provides the best evidence for answer to the previous question? We have lines. This question depends on the previous question, so we need to be careful when we choose the answers, because here it could be a bit confusing between the two questions, whether you choose this one or this one. For example, you could choose A, you could choose C, or you could choose D. But here it becomes which is more reasonable, which is more logical, and it has a subtle mark that shows you this is the right answer to choose. So number 10, which choice provides the best evidence for answers the previous question? As we said, line 49 to 50, line 26 to 68, line 7 to 73, line 77 to 82. The best answer is lines 77 to 82. Thank you for watching this episode of SAT by Muhammad Shakour Algnash for reading how to read the critical reading in SAT. And see you next time. Bye bye.